Hello, this is Nancy. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making a tiered tray using some tumbling tower blocks and some wood circles from the Walmart. The circle measures 7 inches, and then when we're finished, the tiered tray will measure 7.5 inches tall by 7.5 inches wide, which is great if you want to have a small place that you don't have room for a big tiered tray. And I'm using here the wooden dice from Dollar Tree. They measure 1.5 inches, and I'm using wood glue to attach 4 of them together. Now to find the center of the circle, I'm tracing the wooden circle on some cardstock, and I'm cutting that out, and then I'll be folding that in half, and then folding that in half again, and then that will give you the center of the circle. I wanted to have more real estate on the bottom tray, so I put the stack of wooden dice or dice towards the back of the bottom tray. So here I'm trying to find the center on either side, and then I'm trying to see which location will be best for the bottom tray. And then the top tray will be centered onto the dice, so it'll be staggered when you see it from the side. I'm going to be screwing each of the layers to the dice, so I'm here doing a pre-drill onto the wooden pieces here, so that way it won't crack. And then I'm also going to use a countersink bit, so on the top layer and the bottom layer, they won't be sticking out, the screws. Even though the bottom layer it doesn't really matter because you're going to have some feet. So now I'm doing the also pre-drilling through the wooden dice. Did you know, fun fact, that there are 7,500 varieties of apples? Wow. Now onto the tumbling tower block portion of the tier tray. I'm cutting my blocks to 3/4 inch tall, but if you want a deeper tray, you could make it longer, or just leave it the way it is without the tumbling tower blocks. But I'm adding another tumbling tower blocks on my cutoff saw here, so that way I don't have to measure each time. So this block is 3/4 inch away from the blade. So I cut one down and then flip it to the other side, and cut it again so I can get 2 pieces out of one tower block. And I'm trying to see what to do with those little itty bitty pieces. I have a whole container full of different. So let me know what you think I should do with those pieces below. Now this is the tedious part, but take your time because you want these blocks to be adhered to the circle very good. And take your time and let it set up when it's done gluing. So I just put glue at the bottom, and then the next piece I put some glue on the portion of it that it's going to be attached to the previous block, and I do that all the way around. Like I said, take your time because this is an important part if you want this to look nice. And just in case there's any gaps in between the block and the circle, I go back with my little precision tip glue and then add some glue around the edges. Now to attach the tower, I guess, of dice to the base. And I did screw it on, but then I thought, wait a minute, I need some wood glue. So make sure you put some wood glue if you want a better adhesion. So I couldn't find any other screws. I'm using some drywall screws. So I'm gonna need to buy or order some more screws for my little stash of wood projects. And then the stand, I wanted more of an angle instead of straight on, up and down. So I turned that around, and the same thing here. Added some glue to the top and then screwed the top to the bottom. And here you'll see how it's a little staggered from the bottom base. Now I'm adding some half rounds to the bottom of the tiered tray, and later in the video you'll see that it's a little wobbly, so I add some more to the other ends. I guess the more diameter you have, the more of the feet you need in order for it not to topple over. Another fact, apple trees take 4 to 5 years to produce their first fruit. So you have to be patient. Now to sand down the spackling that I used over that screw and sand any other edges around the tumbling tower blocks that were rough, and then we'll start painting it. I'm using the antique Waverly wax from Waverly again. I keep on doing that, and I'm using the ink, not the ink, the white one, to distress it a bit. Another fact, apples will ripen 6 to 10 times faster at room temperature than in the refrigerator. So if you want the apples to last longer, stick them in the fridge. Now on to DIY number 2. I'm using one of the Dollar Tree calendars from last year, and I'm getting the crisp apple one from the back of the calendar, and we're going to make a frame. I went back and forth between Jenga blocks, a little round dowel, and I ended up with the 1/4 inch wood dowel, square dowel. So that's what we're going to be doing here now. I'm going to be using double-sided tape to adhere the little calendar to the cardboard. I forgot what the word was. Next week I'll be doing another calendar project, and I'll be using the iron-on method. So there's different ways to add these to whatever you want. Did you know it takes about 36 apples to create 1 gallon of apple cider? That is a lot of apples. Now we're going to measure those square dowels, and I like to put the full piece on the top and the bottom, so the side pieces are the width of the actual calendar. So I do those pieces first, and I'm using glue to adhere them to the cardboard. Most apples are still picked by hand. Did you know that? I'm using the Waverly Crimson paints and I'm adding a little bit of the black, but it was too much black, so I added some more crimson until I got the shade that I wanted. I didn't want that bright red that comes out of the crimson jar. Now on to DIY number 3, which is really not a DIY. I'm just painting the little wooden apples from Dollar Tree. And those circles are solid. I tried to cut one with my cutoff saw and it wouldn't do it. I tried it with my miter shears and it just cracked it. Because I started with the cutoff saw and then used the miter shears after and it just cracked the apple in weird pieces. So don't try that. Unless you have another idea that you can leave down below how to cut these apples in half. Because I was going to try to put a half an apple over that picture there. So make it more three-dimensional. But hey, it didn't work out. So we move on. And I'm using 3 different colors. I'm using the red, I'm using yellow, and I'm using some green. What are your favorite apples? Put it down below. Mine are golden delicious. If you're liking this, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends. Comment below, what colors would you paint your apples? I added a little frame picture to a mini easel, so that way it stands up on your tiered tray. And what do you do with all these little apples? I added mine to the back of this little truck that I made back in March or something. I'll leave the iCard where I made this. And what else can you do? Well, make it a barrel of apples. I made this also sometime earlier this year or last year, I can't remember, but I'll leave that iCard as well, and in the description box below. So many fun things you can do with these apples, or just throw them all over the tier tray, just loose. I made a a stack of books using the Jenga blocks last year. Very popular video. I'll leave that in the iCard. Bunch of iCard stuff today. And I'm just gonna paint these, one red, one yellow, one green, and then we'll decorate them. Did you know at 4 grams per average size apple, they are an excellent source of fiber, and they're delicious. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. I'm close to 4,000 right now, and I'm trying to get to 5,000 by the end of October. So share with your friends and help me get there. I know we all can do it together. I got these pack of miniature alphabet stamps from Michael's. I think they were $1.50, but great size for the size of these little books. So I'm typing up farm fresh apples so I don't forget which letter comes next, because I'm going backwards. I just write it down on a sheet of paper. And the decoration on your books, if towards the end you'll see it looks different than what I started with, because I didn't like the way it looked. Don't forget to join the Little Treasures by Nancy Facebook group, where you can share your creations that you made from my videos, or your own creations that we can inspire each other. I'll leave that in the description box below. Did you know, thanks to their high levels of boron, apples can help improve your memory and mental alertness? I think I need to go get some apples right now. Until next time, be brave, be strong, and create something with apples. Stay tuned for some close-ups.